of Minnie Chats. Today we'll be talking about sex before marriage. If you bought a new Lamborghini, should you be entitled to drive away with it and then decide whether you want to park it or go home with it? What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's a you should or you shouldn't before marriage. I think it's just do what you want to do. Like, to be honest, it's your life. Your life is not affecting somebody else. Do as you please. And I got 2 babies. And I love my kids. It's not, do you know what? A lot of people think that if you do have sex before marriage, it makes you promiscuous. I vouch that it does not. That is a lie. Even though some people kind of...
Oh no, what was that?
But not me.
What was that?
Some people sample a lot of cars. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, so you didn't sample?
No.
Or you just went straight for it?
Mm-hmm.
No comments.
Fair enough. I agree with her. You know, her main point that you should sample for marriage, or not just for marriage. You should sample in general before you even get into a relationship.
How much sampling are you doing?
As much as possible. I mean, like, if before you commit to a person, you should know whether this person is compatible with you, not just
sexually
in every single way. I mean, what if you're into some really out there stuff?
Talk about it.
No, you have to try it first. Talking about it is just talking about it. I mean, you can agree with it in, like, just by talking, but whenever it comes to it, she might be freaked out. Or
what were you thinking of? Like stuff like what? Like she's
no,
gonna be freaked out about.
Okay, no, I'm giving an example. I mean, that may be an extreme example, but I think before you, especially something like marriage, there's a long-term commitment. You need to know what you like first, what kind of partner you want first, before you commit to that perfect partner that you think you can mold into what you want. You
can mold them into.
That's the point of marriage, but you know.
Oh, that's not. I don't.
Okay,
no, that's definitely a different topic. Okay, I got your views on that.
I think your initial statement was very misleading in terms of yes, if I buy a Lamborghini, before I buy a Lamborghini, I'm gonna actually test drive it. But you actually comparing a human being to a car. Do you see? It's not a fair comparison like that. For me, at least my perspective is, no, you shouldn't. Yes, it does happen. I mean, in this world that we're in, but it shouldn't. It's all about self-discipline, and if you can put that into your life, I think you can find a way to actually delay sex before marriage. If I'm. It's not. Yes, marriage. I mean, relationship is there for you to actually see if you guys are compatible. There are so many other ways you can find out you guys are compatible, and having sex doesn't mean that you will be compatible, and not having sex doesn't mean that you will still be compatible. You can have sex before marriage. And when you get into marriage, sex just peters out. Do you see? And because it's always been there. There has to be some sort of longing. There has to be some sort of expectation.
You can long for some more than just sex. I mean, if sex is a casual thing to you, and it's not something that you...
No, it's not casual to me.
No, I'm saying, for example, a person who believes in sex before marriage, or somebody who believes in, say, who wants something before they buy it. If to them they have a lot of sex, or if they know what they want, to go into a relationship, they can long for more than just sex. Intimacy isn't just about what you do in bed; it's more than that. There's a lot to what makes a relationship than what.
So why can you deny yourself? Why can you deny yourself of the sexual part?
Because I don't deny myself of any other part of intimacy in any relationship. Why should I just subject myself to just not doing one thing and saving it for one special thing, or
for after marriage, when.
But why should I take that away if if sex is part of intimacy, being intimate?
Because it's not casual. It's more spiritual. There's a spiritual element to sex because it's about intimacy, it's about relationship, but it's much more deeper than that because this person with sex you sort of have a part of you always remember the person you have sex with most of the time anyway.
Just don't remember because it's just
okay. Well, we're different. Because for me, I think it's spiritual. Sex is deep. Even though yes, you need to enjoy it. You need to look well for your partner and vice versa as well. So, but still, there's a deeper issue. There's a deeper level to it.
Casual sex from being deep. I mean, nothing says that if you're having sex with more than one partner, it's less spiritual than having sex with that one partner for the rest of your life. There is nothing that actually.
Well, I think we're looking at it from a spiritual perspective.
No. He's right. Because what you're saying is, yes, if you're having sex, means saying it's spiritual. If you're having sex with so many partners, then you're having spiritual connection with them. If it's just one partner, it's just that one partner. But here's the thing: with all the other partners you're having, you're carrying their burden all the way. Their spiritual burden, everything. You carry them all the way through your own life. Whatever body I want, my body is enough for me, and I don't want to be. And my partner, yes, but if you start carrying 20, I don't know how many you got.
40.
You're all for. Yeah.
You didn't deny it.
No.
I was wondering who you're talking to.
No, but for me, I just feel like sex is supposed to be between a husband and a wife. Is that I think for me, because I'm coming from a biblical perspective, I grew up in the church, and I strongly believe that when you're having sex, it should be between you and your husband. Well, I'm speaking for myself, between myself and my husband, working towards something, to have our children. It's about family, it's about respect. There's different things that I value, and that's the most important thing, not sharing that personal part of me with just any Tom, Dick and Harry that passes by and tells me, oh yeah, I love you. Whereas with marriage, you're saying I do for the rest of our lives. That's the value I place on it.
But I personally don't agree with that because I don't see why you should restrict yourself for that long.
I don't feel like it's a restriction.
I mean, if you meet people, like-minded people, that's understandable. If you're both willing to wait that long and not have sex.
But I feel
that's
that
depriving you. It goes against nature not to have sex. It's part of everything.
I feel like if the person I'm with loves me enough and understand that these are my values, I will respect their values. Don't get it. If they want to, like, okay, I want to have sex, Minnie, that's fine. I'll be like, okay, when you met me, these are my values. I'm still sticking with them. If you want to have sex, that's fine, but those are not my values. If the person loves you enough, vice versa, you will decide what's important. But I personally, I would not
just say, if you love me enough.
That's what I'm saying. For him to decide,
change that as well.
They would say that. Then it's for us to decide whose values, how I'm willing to stick with my values.
And if they're willing to stick with theirs,
let them go and find the next Tom, Dick and Harry to chill with.
Sex is so important to you that.
It's not about just the sex. It's all about the things that I've learned about sex and how there's spiritual elements of. It's like what Banji said. You're carrying elements of different people with you spiritually, and I don't want that baggage.
But what if you do connect with them, minus the sex? You connect to a whole other level, but to them, they want to have sex to connect. That
let them find the next couch and have sex with it. I've already explained to them that these are my values.
But
if I connect with you that much, you should understand that as part of my connection, I do not wish to go over that boundary of having sex with you. Can't you respect that? And it's just one thing.
I'm applying that logic to your partner. And if your partner thinks the same and says, yo, you think that way, and that you hold your value so dearly. And for me, I really want to have sex because it's been years and you're still not good.
Put a ring on it, baby.
But then he would be putting a ring on it for the wrong reason. You're basically using sex as a price to to marriage.
No,
As in,
I'm
like-
telling him no, because it's like no, I'm telling him that these are my values. I'm not. If he then proposes because it's just, I don't feel like I would be with somebody because they decide, oh, let's get married because I want to have sex with her and that's what she wants. I think as a woman, I would have some sort of feeling. So if we're talking about sex today and tomorrow he proposes, come on,
No,
am
no,
I that
no,
stupid?
obviously, guys are not that stupid to do something like that. But if you promote that sort of culture, saying, you know what, hold on to your virginity till you're married because there should be a prize for guys to, you know, guys should have to marry you for you to lose your virginity. You're basically saying to the next generation of guys, be more creative in ways to trick women to have sex with them. Like, you know, also what's celibacy. I think it's celibacy.
Celibacy, yeah.
I think that's one of the dumbest, personally, one of the dumbest ideas ever. It's like you're telling somebody you can't have this, and that's like plain psychology. You're telling a kid or a person you can't have this. I'm naturally inclined to want this, and I'm gonna do anything I can to get it. Obviously, if you're married, oh no, not married, we're in a relationship, and you.
But you don't want to marry me?
No, we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
We're in a relationship right now, right? And we discuss sex, and I find out that you don't want to have sex until we're married.
Yeah.
And I express to you that I really want to have sex, right? In between that, we come to a compromise, and you say that, you know what, this is my values. I'm not willing to change them, and I compromise my values and say, you know what, okay, when the time comes, we'll get married, and blah blah. The time comes, we have sex. I don't like it. What then?
We continue practicing until you learn to like it by fire, by force.
But then that's forcing something that I could have
Should
found.
be
But then,
Right.
but then why is it that you don't like it? Is it because of the way we did it, or is it because of like what is it? Can't we then learn? You can tell me, okay, Minnie, I did not like the way you did
Some
this and
girls
that, and
are
then we
just
can
simply
learn.
not good in bed. Some girls simply just don't want to put the
Effort.
effort in. I'm not saying that it's not
I'll
something
be
that
you,
you can
I'll be
simply
you.
push somebody to do if it's not in their nature to enjoy having sex. For example,
But that's what communication is there for. I mean, surely you guys can actually talk about that.
in
and
the
say-
middle of sex, be like, yo, babe, put some effort.
Yeah, put some effort in it.
You communicate.
Yeah, you communicate.
You tell the person you did not. That this is how I like it. If you were to try this way,
But
how
then
about we
if-
try this way? We try.
Yeah.
Because you're both there to learn together.
But then if I had done this before, I would know what I want. I would express it to my partner.
Yeah,
But
It
now
would
you're
be
getting the
good
same
from there and
opportunity.
then.
yeah.
I'm not getting the same opportunity because, here's
The only element that's taken away from it is that you're no longer single, you're not in a marriage realm. The communication aspect is still available to you for you to talk to that individual and say, I didn't like how you did this in the morning or last night or in the evening, wherever you guys were. And then how can we fix it? And this is what I like. You tell me what I, it's all
But
about
then-
communication.
I mean, you guys are coming from different perspectives, different walk of life, different experiences, and you guys need to come to the center ground and find the common ground. And I think that is, it's there. I think for you, what you're trying to look for is the perfect girl who can actually be perfect in bed.
no. There's no such thing as somebody who's perfect in bed.
Well,
There's such a thing as people who are willing through experience to try different things.
but what
For example, somebody who's never had sex
yeah.
is less likely to do.
Or you
or-
can teach the person.
And if somebody's new to sex, they're less likely to.
Because I'm a new driver doesn't mean that I won't know how to drive a car or I won't know how to.
No. That's different.
It
I
just
mean,
means you're less likely to drag race.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Basically.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, but you want to experience. If sex gives pleasure, if you experience pleasure in that respect, in that regard, then I think you're gonna do it again, isn't it?
Here's another thought. How would you know what you actually like if you've never tried it in the first place? How would you know what you want from sex if you've never tried? If you've never had sex before, what would you know what?
Yeah, but you are in that same position way before you
then-
started having sex.
But then you're
So,
having sex with the same person. So the sex you-
So I'm gonna say, here's the thing. You know that this person is a virgin or she's never acted well, yeah, and you know where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know where she's coming from, and because because of that, you actually, because I think that's very judgmental, really, because you were in that position before. You don't know nothing about sex, but yes, you've been practicing over the years. This is somebody who has never practiced before, but it took you time to get to where you are now, or to the expectation that you are expecting from yourself
through multiple, not just one.
Yeah, multiple.
Because
okay, let's hold on the multiple for now.
Different things.
Let's hold on the multiple because I love the multiple thing going on between you two. But what we'll do, we'll take a 5 minutes break, and then you just let us know, what do you think of the conversation so far? Is it one-sided, or do you actually feel that I am entitled to my own views and I can do whatever I want? I'm my own individual. So we'll see you back in 5.
Something doesn't mean you have to just pick
What
up.
sort of discipline is there in going from one woman to the other?
It helps you manage your urges. You can,
What? How does...
It's not a thing of if you wait, you're definitely going to stay together. It's so that for me, waiting to have sex until after your marriage has no, it holds no weight for me.
But why is it that you're so focused on the sex?
because it's the final chapter to.
But we don't have children yet. We don't have all the other things that we haven't built all the
You have
stuff.
children through having sex.
Yeah, but then
So
it
if-
doesn't.
I wouldn't want to be married to somebody who I don't enjoy having sex with.
Back to mini chats. Should you sample before you buy, and what are the advantages of sampling before you go into the market, or what are the disadvantages of waiting until you're married to then have sex? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm still on the camp of you need to sample. There's obvious advantages, like I've been saying throughout. You get to learn what you like. You get to experience different sides of relationships. I mean, you get to experience the whole package throughout, not taking out one thing and giving it so much importance and saying, you know what, I'm gonna wait till I'm married to the perfect person, or to somebody who I perceive as perfect, and then I'm gonna share this with them. Which is, to me, I'm like, I do respect that. I would love to get married to a virgin, because
That's
I'm
greedy
wondering.
and that's selfish. Continue your points.
but I don't see any real disadvantages.
So wait, let me go back to your point. So you would love to then get married to a virgin who doesn't know anything after you've made all those points before?
Yeah, because like I know.
One bye. Who's next?
I'll get like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still for me. If you can, in this world we are today, yes, it might be a bit challenging itself to actually keep yourself till after marriage or whatever. But if you can, you need. I think for me spiritually, if you can wait before you wait for sex until after marriage, because I think that's the whole point of the celibacy itself. It's not being celibate. I don't think that was the whole purpose of the celibacy itself. But I think it's all about the discipline that you actually get from it, the value system it actually instills in you, the self-control. Because this is, I mean, your body, you have control of your body, nobody else. Do you see? Nothing influences it. You tend to control your environment by yourself. So I think that's one of the reasons for being celibate. They actually instill it in secondary school and primary school, really. But I know that has gone out of the window in the last few years. But
How does celibacy teaches you discipline, but the same discipline you get from celibacy can be gotten from still sampling and still disciplining yourself.
I don't understand that.
Just randomly having sex. I mean, something doesn't mean you have to just.
What sort of discipline is there in going from one woman to the other?
It helps you manage your urges. You can,
What? How does
sex to me, like, the way you view sex.
no? So you feel horny and you go for the next.
No.
girl.
You
So how does
as
it
an urge.
how does it manage your urges then?
You see it as something that you can either do or not do. Because you've experienced it, you do not wonder what it's like. You know what it's like. Obviously, the next time is going to be different, but I'll start off my point. Alright, go back. Go back.
No, just wait for the virgin. You'll be fine.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? What are the advantages and disadvantages of?
I think the advantages are you get to connect on a different level. Whereas if you go into marriage, that's lock. Now imagine you're married and you don't like having sex with each other because he likes one thing, you like something else, he doesn't want to do that, you don't want to do that. Then that's an automatic disconnect. There have been cases also where people get married just so they can have sex with that person. They don't like it.
Which case?
They get divorced.
That. Which case?
Dude, it's all over. It's everywhere.
Instagram or Facebook? Because it's all over. Where?
Yeah, I'm in a group on Facebook, and there's women that said, I got married, I was in love with him, etc., etc. He said the same. They got married, they had sex, he didn't like it, he was gone. Some people really go to that length just to have sex because you said you wouldn't, and then once they sample you, they're gone. So it's not a case of if you wait for marriage.
So is it serial this thing?
Like just goes around.
Yeah, it goes
and
and sows the seed all around.
No, because it's only from the woman's point of view. Really.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a thing of if you wait, you're definitely going to stay together. It's so that for me, waiting to have sex until after your marriage has no, it holds no weight for me.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You talking about that? I'm actually thinking, is that not some form of abuse to the woman?
Yeah.
How so?
Because it's emotional and mental abuse. They thought that you really wanted to be with them when all you wanted really was sex.
But then,
because women are more connected emotionally to those kind of things.
That's very hurtful to hear about. Because guys are emotional as well.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying we are more emotionally connected to that.
Think about it in this context. I'm with you thinking that, we connect deeply. You're the perfect girl, blah, 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 blah.
Thank you, John.
Right?
Thanks.
You're welcome. But then you come out and say, you know what, John, I'm holding out sex till I get married. But I've sacrificed my values to this point, and I'm continuing to sacrifice my values. But you're not budging. That shows to me that, this is even though this person I think is amazing.
What value are you holding on to?
You're holding on to sex.
Yeah, I'm holding on, but what are you giving up for me?
Everything else.
Like what?
I don't know, like not having sex.
Yeah, but that's your decision. You wait until we get there.
But you're taking that away from me.
It was your choice to wait. I told you what.
You want to wait.
Yeah, I want to wait, but then you decide to make your own. No, you don't have to. You can decide whether you want to wait or not.
That's true.
That's true. But at the same time, if I think you're the one for me, and the only difference is that I want to know if the sex between us, basically the sex is the final.
So you
final
see this,
lock.
yeah.
If we have sex and I don't like it, that changes.
But you waited for the wrong reason.
So why can't you just put
No, how would that be the wrong reason?
You waited for the wrong reason because you're saying that you will wait because you want to see something, but it shouldn't just be about what you want to see. It should be all the other things that we're working towards.
It's not the point of a relationship to see.
It's not just the sex, though. It's not just the sex. That's what you just said. That you want to see where it's about. What's the other things? You can have family. You can work together in all different aspects. But why is it that you're so focused on the sex?
Because it's the final chapter to.
But we don't have children yet. We don't have all the other things that we haven't built all the stuff.
You have children through having sex.
Yeah, but then it doesn't.
I wouldn't want to be married to somebody who I don't enjoy having sex with. You're married, and if you get married, you're basically obligated, not just through the papers you sign, but social pressure.
Do you know what? I think
with this person.
Sorry, I think you're talking from a very, excuse my language, selfish point of view. In terms of you have already been in that position.
No, it's him and Ivy.
You're already in that position. You have the experience, you have the practice, you are an expert.
I'm not an expert, but
no, I'll give you that. You are an expert in this. But here is somebody who is a novice or amateur, and you're saying you are now trying to compare. Okay, because I'm this level, I'm an expert in this level, I have all the expertise, and she's just an amateur. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to find somebody else because she's not compatible with me sexually.
But wouldn't she be doing the exact same thing? If I want to have sex, she doesn't want to have sex. Nothing's gonna happen in that relationship. We're basically just doomed.
But that's what relationship is all about. Relationship is much more than the sex part. It's about the
based on the same sex thing. But do
Yeah.
you think in the society we live in that we can actually wait to actually, even though we have biblically we want to do this in the society, do you actually feel that we can actually just wait?
It is personal
There's
choice.
a lot of pressure compared to when our parents would wait and get.
If you watch primetime TV now, you see all sort of sexual.
You see nipples, everything everywhere.
And which
Date
is
naked, do this naked, everything's naked.
so it's the temptation is the temptation is there. You know, the eyes can see everything, and you start getting the urges, and okay, I want to try this out. So it's pretty hard in this day and age. But I think from a Christian point of view, if at least for me, if the Bible is my standard, and that is what I actually put my that's where I get my purpose for. That's where that is my standard. That's my yardstick. That's where I compare my life to, and that's where I take all my values from. And from that, because that doesn't change. Sex before marriage, I will use that to actually hold myself, give myself self-control. This is me personally. That's the way I believe it. It's self-discipline. If you can't discipline yourself with your own body, how then can you discipline yourself with all other things?
You can discipline yourself with your own body in other ways. You don't have to withhold yourself from having sex to discipline yourself. If you have to constantly say, I'm not gonna have sex to discipline yourself, it's no different than somebody saying, you know what, I'm not gonna have sex for the next 2 months.
You know what? Because there's a choice here, okay? You can say, okay, I'm not gonna have sex. And you can then choose, okay, you change over. Okay, I'm gonna have sex. Do you see?
Isn't that discipline?
It depends on where your value system comes from. It depends on where your value system comes from. For me, that would be a betrayal to my value system if I actually choose that path, because I think that's the wrong path. This is my path, and if I'm deviating from that, then I've gone away from it.
Fair enough.
Do you see?
I understand. Okay, that's understandable. But then,
if you think about it this way, yeah, you know the whole sampling before marriage. What if you've sampled with that person and that's the person you marry? What is the difference?
You shouldn't have sampled in the first place anyway.
But what is the difference?
There is a difference. You just sampled before you did it. You're not supposed to sample.
but
it.
you're
No,
still
that's what I'm
married to
saying.
the same
If you marry
person.
them, it's a good thing, but it's not. If you're looking at it from a biblical perspective, that's not the requirement that was set for you in the first place. You shouldn't have done it. You've done it, fair enough. You like it and you want to stay, fair enough. But technically, that's not what the scriptures tell you to do from a biblical perspective.
Yeah.
You marry and then you sample, not sample, marry. You're doing it the opposite way. That's
But I get your point. But how many times does that happen? Realistically,
A lot.
I'm one of them.
A lot.
fair dues. But there's fair dues.
Like, I sampled. I have 2 kids, but we stayed together for years. I haven't been around. I sampled with that one person, and it's always been that one person.
that you're still sampling with. But you guys are married now.
No.
Well, you written to this.
No, that's why I gave the example of what if it's that one person you're sampling. You're not going here, there, and everywhere. It's just that one person.
But we're looking at it.
And then you end up getting married. What's the difference between
That's like
sampling
one in
before or after?
that's like one in how many hundreds?
But there's still a probability.
Which is fine. That's why I said fair dues. I mean, I think it's the promiscuity that we're actually looking into now. I mean, just going from one place to the other, I don't see that as discipline. I see that as just being.
How is this defining discipline? How is your discipline?
We
any
can get a
different?
dictionary out.
No, but how is your okay? How is your discipline
Yeah.
from you not having sex any different from somebody disciplining themselves and saying, I'm gonna choose when I'm going to have sex and when I'm not going to have sex,
But how often are you choosing that?
regardless of how many times you're choosing?
Yeah, but it's
It's
still.
If I can just go back, if you know, if you take the monks for example, or even Bruce Lee, you spend hours and hours and hours practicing, you're disciplining your body, compared to somebody who's not even going to the gym, just sit down and eat and eat and eat, and say you can choose not to eat, you can choose not to.
You're actually backing up my point.
No, I'm
These
not.
people practiced, they continuously discipline themselves through training,
which
is something
so
I'm advocating for.
Yeah, but
Training through sex, isn't that exactly what you just?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean,
finish.
So compared to healthy body and the obese body, that's what I'm saying. So healthy body, if you healthy body for in parallel to not having sex, and the obese body in parallel to having sex.
How is that parallel? How is that?
That's why it's an analogy.
What is the benefits though in terms of, because I think what the question was is what is the benefit of you actually
sampling
and what's the disadvantage?
The benefit to me,
yeah,
like I said before, you get to know what you want.
You need to know what you want.
You get to have experience, and you have a lot of choices. You get to choose. And at the end of it, sex becomes something that is not important. It's just something that it's just an urge to you. If you've had
these are his
if you've had chocolate 10 times, you're not gonna be so excited when you've had chocolate the 11th time.
You'll be surprised how most girls.
But if you've had chocolate once, you'll be so excited to have it the second time. If I've had sex with 11 girls, having sex with that extra 12th girl isn't going to be like, wow. But looking forward to having sex with that one girl is going to constantly be on my mind. I will do anything to have sex with that one girl, marry her if I need to.
Hey,
simply
John.
just to have...
That's what I'm saying.
No, because
people have done that.
Because making me abstain from sex is giving it importance. You're telling me this is something that you don't want me to have. Like the Bible. If the Bible tells me not to steal, what I will still steal. You're basically.
But that's
what happens throughout society. That's what happens throughout society.
That is true, though.
I mean,
no, not a disciplined society. I'm sorry. The Bible tells me not to steal, and I don't go around stealing stuff. No.
Okay.
What are your
No. There to having say, even if we don't even go with it, there's so many risks to that as well. There were so many consequences of having sex and stuff.
Example.
You know, you could get pregnant, unwanted pregnancy,
transmitted diseases.
Thank you very much. Transmitted
contraception.
Fair dues.
There's so many ways to stop those risks.
Yeah.
Those risks are down.
It's not stopped. You can lower the risk, but the risk is still there.
You can minimize the risk to the point where they're not almost non-existent. With the advances in health right now, for you to get an STD, it is your own fault. It is not a fault of risk.
Okay, what we'll do now, because this is getting a bit heated, we'll probably have to have part 2, 3, and 4 and just give you two to discuss it all by yourself. So as you can see, sampling before you buy, everyone's got different views on it. But whatever you do out there, you decide what's best for you. As Banji said, you could get pregnant, there's transmitted diseases, but John backed it up and said, well, you can use contraceptive and you can connect with that person. Whether you connect with that person, just seek advice, speak to someone that you trust, and if you're not comfortable, you can contact us on Minnie Chats and we'll be more than happy to speak with you. So all the best until further notice.